Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.
What's going down, gamblers? It's the coach here representing Brothas N Bets, and I'm here with the man, the myth. I'm gonna spark up while he introducing himself and fix my hat. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Marley Bets. Marley, what's going down?
What is the deal? What is the deal? What is the deal? I feel good, man. Had a good didn't I call that over last night? Yeah.
The who?
Oh no, that's for today's game. I hit that Central Michigan. But I pushed the over, but I took the points. But we didn't give that out as a play.
Nah, we were
Personally,
messing with that that other game. I forgot what it was. The game that hit the under Western. What was it? Western Michigan and Ohio.
Oh, that was day for you.
No. I'm tripping. I got the days mixed up. Who played yesterday? Bowling Green and
can't remember who.
Bowling Green and can't remember who. But anywho's, and then we called it the Astros. I know you called it. You said, hey, man, we about to beat the shit out of them. So you definitely called that, man. And now we are on to it. So, hey, we're getting ready to go into a game 5 situation tonight. So hopefully we can pull that off, and hopefully we can bring it back, or else we're going to turn into the 90s Atlanta Braves, where they went multiple times in the 90s and only got away with one. So definitely want to see Dusty Baker go out on top. But other than that, man, how you feel, G? How you feel? You say you feel good, right?
Feel good. Pressure.
Well, I didn't
get back on the clock here in a little bit.
I know you didn't. Did you post any of your NFL plays last week?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I posted only one play, and that was the Thursday night game between the Ravens and the Buccaneers, and I was dead smack on with the Ravens money line for that one. So we definitely got some cash in on that one. So shout out to everybody who rode with my quick pick on that play, man. And like we always say, man, hey, you got to follow us on everything, Instagrams, Twitter. Twitter's our main thing where you can kind of catch us, especially you catch Marley on the tweet, and a couple of other games. Facebook, of course, you're on here, and YouTube. That's our baby. But hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. We are at the 1 p.m. time slot, so we right on time, man, and ready to get it rolling. My last high school football game is today. And then appreciate it. And then next week I start basketball, and then y'all are in the playoffs, man. The Cobras ready to do their thing.
Yeah, they pissed me off on Facebook today.
Who did? Your parents, players?
Nah, somebody in like a Forbidden FBYL Facebook group.
What they say? Speak on it. What they say? Speak on it.
They had Super Bowl predictions for each level, and like they didn't have us in there, and that shit pissed me off.
But they didn't have y'all in there. They didn't predict the game, or they just didn't.
They didn't predict. They didn't put us in. Whatever the question was, like, what are your Super Bowl predictions for each level?
Oh,
and like they didn't put us in. They put a team that not only did we smack their ass up during the scrimmage, smack their ass up during the season, and they got to go through us next round if they want to get to the Super Bowl. They put them in. I'm just like, the fuck out of here. But all right.
So at your level, who they got in there?
Stallions and Cowboys.
Stallions.
Should be the Stallions and Cobras, but
did y'all play the Stallions? I know y'all lost that close one against the Stallions, but did y'all play?
Luke.
Did y'all play the Cowboys?
Yeah, we scrimmaged them and played them. Smacked their ass up both times.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do. But
let's stick around if they get there.
They got to get there.
They got to take care of their business on Saturday.
Fucking around setting up the shit. I was trying to take Manchester United in the Europa, and now they up 1-0, so I missed out on that. God damn it, they up 1-0. It's all good. But man, let's jump into some NFL action. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, follow. And we're gonna start off with our first game Thursday night game going down here in the H. But unfortunately, all the action is going to be locked in on Game 5 of the World Series. But football fans will definitely be watching. You know, NFL is reigns supreme. But you know,
king.
we talking about the Houston people. We gonna be locked in on these Astros. Everybody else who ain't in the matter of fact, this is crazy. The Eagles, Philly Eagles, Houston Texans, and boom boom. So it's Philly versus Houston all day today, man. It's going down. All right, but
up on this shit right now.
and everybody upset at Jalen Hurts because he put the Astros hat on. So we'll
He's from
see.
the H, nigga.
So Verlander, come out, take care of business, man. But let's jump right into it, man. Philly, the only undefeated team left in the NFL, 7-0 on the year, 5-2 against the spread, going against the Houston Texans, who are 1-5-1 on the year, 3-1 against the spread. This line did open up in favor of Philly -9. There has been a lot of movement, and as we are speaking right now, as a consensus, the line has gone up to 14. So they got a two touchdown spread on the Texans right now, giving up. Excuse me, with the Eagles giving that up. The total sitting at opened up at 43 right now. You can catch 45.5. There are some 45s on the board as well. Actual factuals real quick for these Eagles. They're 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games, 7-0 straight up in the last 7 games. Like I said, 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games whenever they play against the Texans. 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games on the road. The overs also hit 6 out of the last 7 games whenever they play against an AFC conference opponent. 10-1 straight up in the last 11 games against an American Football Conference South AFC South Division opponent. And the unders hit 11 out of the last 13 games for Philly. So let's see how that trend goes as we are in the first week of November. Actual factuals for the Texans, they are 1-5 straight up in the last 6 games. The total has gone over 4 out of the last 5 games against Philly. 1-9-1 straight up in the last 11 games at the crib. 0-7 straight up in the last 7 games against an NFC conference opponent. The total has gone over 4 out of the last 5 games. For the Texans against an NFC East Conference opponent. They are 2-5 against the spread in the last 7 games played in Week 9 and 3-10 against the spread in the last 13 games played on a Thursday. Major injury reports right now for Philly. Right now, cornerback Josiah Scott, he is out for today's game. As for the the Texans, Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, he's out tonight. Guard Justin McCray, he's out tonight. Linebacker Neville Hewitt, he's out tonight. Guard AJ Kane is questionable. Defensive tackle Malik Collins is out tonight as well. Desmond King, he is questionable for today's game. Cornerback Draylon Arnold is out for tonight. Wide receiver Nico Collins is out for tonight. Linebacker Christian Harris is questionable for the Texans. Last time we seen Philly took care of business. I know definitely they made me some money over the weekend. They won 35-13 against the Steelers, and the Texans put up a strong fight but did not come away against the Titans, and they lost that one 17-10. So with all that being said, Eagles, Texans, Thursday night football. Marley, what's your play?
I just made 2 plays on this game while you was going over all the numbers. It's not much I can say about the Texans, bro. Like, defensively, we look a lot better than we did last year, but the offense is just, it's we don't have a quarterback, so it's not much you can do.
He ain't it.
I said that last year, but anyway, they did good by not getting the quarterback this year because the quarterback class is the year that's coming up. We got 2 first-round picks, I believe, so they should get a quarterback this year. Anyway, nonetheless, let's talk about the Eagles because that's really what this is all about. Can they cover the 14? I don't know. I don't have a play on the side, but I do have the under at 45.5. And that's just mainly because the Texans can't fucking score, bro. We can't score no points. We cannot produce anything offensively when we get in the red zone. We settle for field goals. Pierce is about the only bright spot. Like, we may have found a running back to go along.
He's on my fantasy. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like other than that, though, I mean, this offense is like we average less than 100 yards rushing. I think we only average 16 points a game. give up 22 points a game. Like the defense isn't really bad. That's not really that bad considering how much they beat on the field. So I like the under here. I also took a play on the Texans team total under. And I think that's right now at like 14 and a half. So that means we got to score 2 touchdowns and at least a field goal. I don't know if that's going to happen against this Philly defense. That's even though they are missing a cornerback, shit, we missing Brandon Cooks. Like so, shit, that evens out. Our best receiver not playing, and we don't have a quarterback, even if our best receiver was playing. So, and he only has 1 touchdown on the season, Brandon Cooks, that is. So it's just like, I like the under 45 and a half, and I got a play on the Texas team total under 14 and a half.
So the Texans team total under 14 and a half.
14 and a half, yes, sir.
All right. Hey man, I'm gonna pick my side. I'm riding with Philly. This offense it's rolled right into what Jalen Hurts' his specialty is as a quarterback. They are opening things up. AJ Brown finally came out and showed why he was one of the top off-season trades or acquisitions over the season in the offseason. Came out, gave me big points in my fantasy. The Philly defense gave me big points over the weekend. I'm riding with Eagles minus 14. Too many guys on the defensive side of the ball are out for this on this short turnaround, game for the Texans. And we know our Texans. And I do need my boy Pierce to do his thing for my fantasy league because I'm going against I'm number 2 right now. I'm killing them. I'm the highest scoring motherfucker in our league, killing these boys. But I'm going against somebody right now who's taking care of business. Hey, what's up, James? I don't know why your comment didn't pop up, but what's going down, my G? But yeah, I'm riding with the Eagles minus 14. I do want to take them on the first quarter because they typically not first quarter, first half, but even the first quarter, they've scored damn near every drive this season. If I could pull up those numbers real quick, I can kind of see what we're looking at in the first quarter. But my official play, I'm going to ride with the Eagles Eagles full game minus the 14. Now they do have Philly minus 3.5 for the first quarter. I do think they can cover that, but for the second half, for the whole first half, they got it minus 8. So I'm going to stay away with that. Hopefully they'll take away. You know what? I definitely would lean. I'm probably gonna play this play. I definitely will lean on the Eagles first quarter minus 3.5. Like I said, they've scored a touchdown in every quarter so far this season, and I can definitely see them scoring on the first drive of this game. So, but official play Eagles first half. Eagles minus 14 is the play. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. That is Marley Bets. I am the coach, and we are Brothas N Bets. We appreciate everybody tuning in on this Thursday 1:00 special show when we got Houston versus Philly going down in the sports world all day long. And if we want to talk about Facebook, we do got a Texas versus Philly thing going on with our great uncle Charleston White, our brethren from up north, and Gilly the Kid. But let's keep this train moving, man. Let's get on to the next game. And we're talking about the Vikings versus the Commanders. Let me pull my notes up real quick. This is going to be a early morning game on Sunday. 1:00 Eastern Standard Time at FedEx Field. We're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, a surprising 6-1 on the year, 3-4 against the spread, going against the Commanders, who are having quarterback issues, 4-4 on the year, 4-4 against the spread. This line actually opened up in favor of the Vikings minus 2.5. Some money's been coming in. It's around now sitting at 3.5. There are some threes out there on the board as well. The total opened up at 44 44.5 right now. That line's sitting at 43, so it has gone down a whole point. Get to these actual factuals real quick for the Vikings. They are 2-4 against the spread in the last 6 games. The total's gone over 4 out of the last 5 games. They are 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games. Excuse me. They're also 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games against Washington. The total's also gone over 10 out of the last 14 games on the road. 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games against an NFC conference opponent. 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games against an NFC East division opponent. Washington. The total has gone under 5 out of the last 6 games. And it's also gone over 6 out of the last 7 games against the Vikings. It's also gone under 7 out of the last 9 games at the crib. But they're 3-7 straight up in the last 10 games against an opponent from the NFC conference. They are 3-6 straight up in the last 9 games against an NFC North division opponent. 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games when playing in the month of November, and 2-10 against the spread in the last 12 games against an opponent in week 9. Injury reports for these Vikings. Jonathan Bullard, defensive end, he's questionable for this game. Defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson, he left last game, so he's questionable. New acquisition acquired TJ Hawkinson is questionable. Shout out to TJ. He is on my fantasy, but I'm not going to play him because he's new to the system. And that is it right now for the Vikings injury reports. For the Redskins, for the Commanders, linebacker David Mayo, he's questionable for this game. Running back DJ McKissick, he's questionable as well. Linebacker Cole McComb, he's questionable. Wide receiver Brown, he's questionable. Jahad Dotson, he's questionable for this game. Tight end Cole Turner is questionable for this game as well. Last week, we saw the Vikings win 34-26 against the Arizona Cardinals, and we saw Washington get that victory against the Indianapolis Colts 17-16. So, with that being said, Vikings Commanders, this line looks fishy, but Marley, what's your play?
Does look a little fishy, man.
It looks fishy.
It does. And I don't think the Commanders are as bad as their reputation says. And they've looked a lot better with Heineke since Heineke took over, since Carson Wentz got hurt. They won 3 straight, but I go back and I look at the 3 games they won. It was Chicago, Green Bay, and Indy. So, I'm not impressed by that. I don't know how much that necessarily counts. Yeah, they look good against some bad teams. I won't even say they look good. They've looked decent against some bad teams. But you do got, they are at home. Vikings are on the road. But I like the Vikings here. They're definitely the better team. I don't take teams with, I say this all the time, negative point differential. Washington's only scoring 17 points a game, giving up 21. There's your cover if everything just stays as is. The Vikings are averaging 24 points and giving up 20. So, and they're also on a 5-game win streak. They haven't beat the best teams neither, but they did beat, I think, a decent Arizona team with DeAndre Hopkins back. And they did go into Miami and beat Miami. The rest of the games have been at home. So, of that 5-game win streak. So, I still like. Back to work. Damn, is that me?
It is you. What the hell?
Dang, fucking tabs opened up. But yeah, man, this isn't a big primetime game, so there's no reason to fear Kirk Cousins. I think he's gonna come to deliver. It's Monday night, Sunday night. We gotta worry about Kirk Cousins on a primetime stage. And he's been playing pretty good football up until this point. I think that continues. I think that the new coordinator, new head coach from San Fran, if I'm not mistaken, has the offense looking better and playing better. So I'm still on the Vikings train here. I'll take the 3.5. I think they win by 4 or more, probably by a touchdown, but I think they cover the 3.5 just because Washington can't score.
I got you. Well, Marley likes 3.5 as official play. As for myself, I like the first half money line and the Vikings to cover the spread for the full game. This team is the better team. If they get Hawkinson in the mix, There's their answer at the tight end position. But my biggest question is, when is Justin Jefferson go get in the end zone, baby? We only seen the gritty, week 2, week 1? We ain't seen it since.
I don't
You know what I'm
know.
saying? So, I mean, they've been winning,
Like,
but when we gonna get it? Hopefully we can get him in the end zone this week. I like the balance, the way this Vikings team is balanced. Hopefully Thielen is healthy to play. He's not on an injury report that's been put out, but so that may be a great thing. But I'm right there with you. I like this Vikings team. I like the way they've been playing defense. I did have them on my fantasy. I picked up their defense early in the season, but they was just nutting up. I mean, and they gave up 26 last week against the Cardinals. But anywho, first half Vikings, money line and full game is my play. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. This is Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets. You guys can tune in every Tuesday and Wednesday for 1 o'clock shows. Pretty soon we're going to be on our NBA grind, and we're going to be on our college basketball grind, man. Speaking of NBA, I almost was at 3K last night, deposited 2 to get on the college games, and I deposited 2 to get on my college games. Hold on one second. Hey, I'm shooting my podcast right now.
Okay.
All right.
Let me know when you're done.
All right. Got all the way up to 2K. Put it on the Pelicans, not realizing they weren't at home, not realizing Brandon Egan was on. Anywho, they was up 3. Dude misses 2 field goals. LeBron gets the rebound. Goes down there, shoots the fadeaway 3 with 1.4 seconds left. I get popped because they go into overtime. But I'm ready to keep grinding, though. So, yeah. But anywho, to say NBA show, basketball, college basketball shows coming soon. All right, let's get to our next early.
That's kind of where it all began.
What?
Like the show. That's kind of like where it took off, where it all began. College basketball.
Like when it just kind of started really trending with the follow. Yeah, we always was on that football blast with shit show. But let's go out to our early game on Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time game at the TIAA Bank Field. We got a West Coast team traveling to the East Coast, the Southeast. The Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Raiders are 2-5 on the year, very underwhelming team. 3-4 against the spread, while the Jacksonville Jaguars are 2-6 on the year. 2-6 against the spread as well. This line opened up in favor of the Raiders -2. Right now, that line's at -1.5. And the total opened up at 47 right now. You can catch that line at 48, but there are some 47.5s out there as well. Get to actual factors real quick. The overs hit 4 out of the last 5 games for the Raiders. They are 2-6 against the spread in the last 8 games against the Jaguars. 1-5 straight up in the last 6 games on the road. The total has also gone over 5 out of the last 7 games against the AFC conference opponent. They are 1-5 straight up in the last 6 games when they played in the month of November as well. Jacksonville Jaguars are they are 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 games. The total has gone under 13 out of the last 20. They are 0-5 straight up in the last 5 games. Their overs also hit 4 out of the last 6 games against the Vegas Raiders. The unders also hit 5 out of the last 5 games whenever they play at the crib. They're 5-15 straight up in the llast 20 games against the AFC conference opponent. 4-16 straight up in the last 20 games against the AFC West Division opponent. And 5-1 against spread last 6 games played in week 9. 1-5 against the spread last 6 games played on a Sunday. Injury reports right now, Darren Waller, he's actually questionable for this game, so he could be making a return after being out for a couple of weeks. Divine Diablo is questionable. I know I said Diablo. Maybe I said it right. He's questionable as well at the safety position, and DJ Turner, wide receiver, is questionable for the Raiders. Jaguars, Jamal Agnew, he's been fighting with injuries for the last couple of weeks. He's questionable for this game. They just picked up Calvin Ridley, but he's done for suspended for the year because we're doing what we doing. Last time we seen the Raiders, they got blanketed this past weekend against the Saints 24-0. And when we saw the Jaguars, they were playing over in Europe. They won that game. They lost that game, 21-17 in a very close game. So with all that being said, Raiders, Jaguars, Marley. I know you broke this game down. What's your play?
I want the Jags here. Like you pretty much said it, man. The Raiders are just for what their talent suggests and the expectations we had on them this season. Like they are just terrible. What they say, Chief?
Hey, we appreciate you joining the show. I hate the NFL, and we appreciate that info. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, follow, my brother.
Oh, that's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
That's fucked up. So I'm assuming you a Giant fan.
Well, he said he hate the NFL. He probably just stating it.
The Alabama of the NFL. All right, but yeah, man, the Raiders, dog, they just like fucking officially unachieved. I mean, Derek Carr. Do we blame the coach? Because when the coach that replaced Buddy that got fired in mid-season, the Raiders took off. They were looking good toward the end of last season, and then McDaniels come in, and everybody thought he was going to improve David Carr, and then they go get
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams,
who's on my fantasy, who only gave me 1 point. He was in the negatives, bro. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So like,
I'm bidding on my fantasy during this show.
It's good. It's cool. It's cool. So I don't. The only thing that's really drawing me hesitation with the Jaguars is the fact that they got embarrassed in the Saints game. It's kind of normally when teams, a lot of the times, I won't say normally, when teams get embarrassed, they tend to come back and play well the next week. But I just can't see it with this team, man. Like, Derek Carr's looking terrible. There's no signs of Devontae Adams. They're barely getting 100 yards rushing, 240 yards passing. I mean, the Texans are throwing for like 220 a game, so like they right there with us. But I'm gonna take the Jags at home, and simply because, well, not simply because, but one of the reasons because the Raiders are 0-5 on the road, 0-4 on the road this season. So their only 2 wins have came at home, and so they don't travel well. And Coach, like you said, we got a West Coast team traveling East Coast. It's probably not gonna be hot. The humidity might be gone, but it just that normally doesn't translate well neither when you got West Coast teams traveling. The time zone factor is always the case because you got to remember it's 2 hours behind. So a 12 o'clock game is really like a 10 o'clock in the morning game for West Coast people. So that's early to be playing football. Give me the Jags. Can't believe I'm saying that. Give me the Jags at the crib.
What?
On the money line.
On the money line. Well, that's not a bad pick, Marlon. I ain't gonna lie to you. But dude, the Jags have been very competitive.
I think I like that.
This season. They've been losing some close games. I mean, let me pull my notes back up. I mean, the games that let me just go through some of these games that they have played.
I'm looking at the scores right now. 21-17, Denver. 23-17, the Giants.
Okay.
34-27, Indy.
Yep, that was
13-6, Houston, and 21-29, Philly. I mean, all within a score.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Philly. So, and this is nobody had. There's not a lot of talent. Young talent.
Well, they got a lot of young talent for over those picks for the last couple of years, but I mean, they have been competitive. Like I said, they've been competitive. Lawrence has been putting up pretty decent numbers for his sophomore season. Is this his sophomore? Yeah, it is his sophomore season. I'm tripping. Yeah, so I mean, they've been competitive where the Raiders have really looked flat. And then the fact that we got the good old West Coast team traveling to the East Coast for an early morning game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jaguars can pull this off, man. I definitely do. Devontae Adams is questionable for this game because I'm getting that info on my fantasy. They're trying to tell me don't start him or whatever. So he's questionable for this game as well. But like I said, he's only been popped out like 1 game, and that was against the Chiefs this season. But if I was to make a lean, I definitely would take the Jaguars as well. So, but I think you got some money coming in your way for that play, Marley. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I am the coach. That is Marley Bets, and we are Brothas N Bets. We appreciate everybody tuning in for the MFL show. And my boy, I hate the NFL, man. I feel so bad for Adams. Dude really went to the Raiders just to lose. I know. the grass ain't greener all the
Yeah, how
time.
you think Aaron
People,
Rodgers feel? They let that nigga go, thinking they was gonna be all right.
and I don't know who said it. I think you might have said it. Somebody might have said it that uh, Aaron Rodgers is gonna probably
Oh,
leave
I
or
definitely said
retire
it.
after the season,
Oh
and
no,
then
I
they're
didn't
gonna
say
bring
that.
in Jordan Love, and then they're gonna start drafting and picking up receivers.
Oh no, I
So,
didn't say that. But I
so
told Razor at the beginning of the season, week 1, because he a Packers fan, like them niggas wasn't gonna win a division, and they was
yeah,
gonna lose, and the Vikings was gonna win the division. You just don't replace Devontae Adams like that.
you just don't.
You
Some of
just
the
don't
younger
go in
guys have been
twos.
stepping up, but nah, you just can't replace them like that. But let's get on to our next game. This should be a great one. This was the NFC Conference Championship last year.
Yeah, it
Both
was.
teams are underachieving right now. I haven't even seen a highlight from Aaron Donald this year. And we're talking about the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4:25 Eastern Standard Time game at Raymond James Stadium, one of our afternoon games. The Rams 3-4 on the year, 2-5 against the spread, while the Buccaneers 3-5 on the year, 2-6 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of the Bucks -1. That line has moved to 3 since we've started this show. Our sponsor, UWager, had it at 2.5. So we're gonna ride with the 3 for the people, so we don't mislead them. But the total is at where it's at. It opened up at 43. Right now it's at 42.5. Get to these actual factuals for the Rams, the defending Super Bowl champs. 2-7 against the spread in the last 9 games. The unders hit 4 out of the last 5. They are 12-5 straight up in the last 17 games. 9-1 against the spread in the last 10 games against the Bucks. 8-1 straight up in the last 9 games against the Bucks. 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games on the road. 6-0 against the spread in the last 6 games when playing on the road against the Bucks. The unders hit 5 out of the last 7 games against an NFC conference opponent, and they are 6-0 in the last 6 games against an NFC South Division opponent. For the Buccaneers, actual factors 0-6 against the spread in the last 6 games. The unders hit 6 out of the last 8. They are 1-5 in the last 6 games. The overs also hit 6 out of the last 6 games against the Rams, as I said before. 0-5 against spread in the last 5 games at the crib. 0-5 against spread in the last 5 games when playing against the Rams at the crib. The overs also hit 6 out of the last 6 games against an NFC West Division opponent. 0-8 straight up in the last 8 games playing in Week 9. And 1-4 straight up in the last 5 games when playing on a Sunday. Injury report real quick for the Rams. Cooper Kupp is probable for this game. Cam Akers is questionable for this game with personal issues that he's been dealing with. Tight end Bryson Hopkins, he's questionable for this game as well. Let's get over to this Buccaneers team who've been dealing with injuries all year long. Akeem Hicks, defensive tackle, he is questionable for this game. Cameron Brate, tight end, he's questionable. Center Shaq Mason is questionable, so that's big because if he's not going to be there, that means they're going to be on that third string center. Cornerback Carlton Davis, he's questionable as well. Russell Gage, wide receiver, is questionable. Cornerback Sean Murphy Bunny is questionable. Antonio Whitfield is questionable at the safety position, and guard Luke Godicki, he is questionable for this game. Last time we seen the Rams, they lost against their rivals, in-state rivals, San Francisco 49ers, 31-14. And last time we seen the Buccaneers, like I said, they lost 27-22 as a Thursday night favorite against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So, with all that being said, Marley, I don't think you really capped this game, but do you have any input or do you have a play?
No, I don't. I didn't. It's just something I'm not interested in. Both these teams, I won't say they're going in the wrong direction. I'm just gonna say I don't know what direction they're going in. A lot of injuries. Tom Brady looking 45, but they do have injuries on the offensive line. So Rams just got embarrassed by the 49ers. It's just I don't know what to expect from either one of these teams. I lean toward the Bucks after what I saw from San Fran last week against the 49ers, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to people. I have no interest in this game at all. I'm not even gonna watch.
No interest from Marley Betts. Um, I'm gonna ride with the Buccaneers on the money line for this game. I think they fucking ESPN alerted us about Tom Brady's personal life.
That's
And
crazy.
now that shit is out, maybe he might be feeling just a little bit. I don't know. His mind is fucked up. That's something serious right now. You know what I'm saying? But they are getting healthy at the wide receiver position. Mike Evans did have a great game last week, but it wasn't enough. They are dealing with some injuries, but the Rams, another West Coast team traveling to the East Coast. Now it's not an early game, but they're still making that travel. And I think Tom Brady's due to wake the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? 0-8 in week 9s. They got to get that one in that win bracket. I'm going to ride with the Buccaneers. I'm not going to take the spread, but as an official play, I'm riding with the Bucs as a money line, especially if Winfield comes back to lead that defensive back unit, because he's their leader and their vocal leader on in the secondary. So that is my play. I'm riding with Thomas Brady to bounce back against a Rams team who's kind of in the same situation that they are in, but with less distractions. Give me the money line. Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. And now we get into our primetime games. Probably both of us don't have a lot of input on this, but maybe we do, since thanks to our boy and our new guest to the show, I Hate the NFL, Tennessee Titans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is an 8:20 Eastern Standard Time game at the GHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Oh, excuse me. The Titans are 5-2 on the year, 5-2 against the spread, while the Kansas City Chiefs are 5-2 on the year, 3-4 against the spread. Now, traditionally, we know Titans do play pretty good football against this team. This line actually opened up in favor of the Chiefs -10, and the line, as a consensus, is at 12.5. I got 13. You wager might have had it at 13, but right now that line has changed. Excuse me, to 12.5. So let me make that change. But the total opened up at 47. And right now that line is sitting at 46, but there are some 45.5s as well. You already got some good different numbers right now for today. But we're gonna ride with what's in the notes right now, so the people can't be misled. Tennessee Titans, they're 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games. They unders 4 out of the last 5 games. They are 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games. 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games against the Chiefs. 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games against the Chiefs. 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games on the road. 6-2 against the spread in the last 8 games when playing on the road against Kansas City. 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games when playing against an AFC conference opponent. 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games when playing against an AFC West Division opponent. And the overs hit 10 on the last 13 games in the month of November. Excuse me. Actual factuals for the Chiefs: they are 2-4 against the spread in the last 6 games. The overs hit 11 out of the last 15 games. They are 16-4 straight up in the last 20 games. The others also hit 4 out of the last 6 games against Tennessee. 10-2 straight up in the last 12 games at the crib. 2-6 against the spread in the last 8 games when playing at the crib against Tennessee. 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 games against an AFC conference opponent. 9-0 straight up in the last 9 games when playing in the month of November. Injury reports right now for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill is questionable for this game. Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle, is questionable. Amani Hooker, safety, is questionable against the at safety position. He's questionable. I hear people in the locker room, so that's one man. Rashad Weaver, linebacker, he's questionable with a back injury. Torrey Carter's questionable as well at the running back position. Actual factuals for the Kansas City Chiefs: Frank Clark, defensive end, he's out with a suspension for the next 2 games. Jody Forston, tight end, he's questionable. Defensive end Michael Dana, he's questionable as well. And Kadarius Toney, he's questionable with a hamstring injury. But as Mr. I Hate the NFL just came on and said, he's been faking the funk in New York.
Coach said he looked impressive.
What's up?
Coach said he looked impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, he jumped to 13. How you gonna cover Hartman, Tonicus, and Juju? Vegas always knows. Houston, Now, last time we seen the Titans, they beat the Texans 17-10. And last time we seen Kansas City, they won 44-23 against San Francisco 49ers. So, with that being said, Sunday Night Football, Marley, do you have a play for this one?
I haven't gotten to the window quite just yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take those Titans. Way too many points. I think they lose, and I think it might be 10. But like you mentioned earlier, they always play this team pretty good. And I think the main reason is because they do the two things that one, you keep Kelsey on the side. Kelsey, you keep that offense on the sideline because they can run the ball. You know what I'm saying? And KC is not the most physical team, although the defense has looked a little bit better this year. But they're not. I mean, you know, Derrick Henry in the first quarter is different from Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter. Like people literally get out his way and try to tackle him from the side or try to catch him from the back. Like they'll move to the side, you know what I'm saying, and try to catch him from the side or catch him from the back. Like people literally get out this man's way. So
Yeah.
That's the recipe for beating the Kansas City or just keeping the game close and running the clock. So that's what I think is mainly going to happen. I do think the Chiefs are the better team. Obviously, Mahomes is the better quarterback. The offense is more high power, but defensively, Tennessee is one of the better defenses in the league. They're giving up 19, maybe 18 points a game. You know, we just don't talk about them because you know that they're, you know, it's Tennessee. It's not and they got Tannehill. So if they had a Mahomes or somebody else, this team would probably be a Super Bowl contender. So I just think 12 is way too many points. So put me on the Titans plus that 12, plus that 13 if we listen to I Hate the NFL.
Yeah. We gonna take that 13 because I'm right there with you. I do like the way that Derrick Henry is starting to get into his form of things. But we're also dealing with a rookie quarterback going in one of the most hostile stadiums and one of the loudest stadiums in NFL history. If I were to make a lean, I definitely take, based on the history, take the Titans with the 13. But I am off this game. But that is too many points. I think it's that way because they just looked at how they just embarrassed the 49ers a couple of weeks ago. So, yep, that's how I feel. What's that noise? Hey, man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. It sounds like.
Oh, that's me.
Hey, man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. This is Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets, and we are giving y'all our NFL plays for week 9. And we're down to our last game, Monday Night Football. Probably two of the blackest cities teams going against each other. This week, we talking about the Baltimore Ravens versus the New Orleans Saints. This is a Monday night game, like we said, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time in the Caesars Superdome. This is going to be on ESPN. The Ravens 5-3 on the year, 3-4-1 against the spread, while the Saints are 3-5 on the year, 3-5 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of the Ravens -3.5. As a consensus now, it has gone down a point. It is now sitting at 2.5. The total opened up at 49 right now. It's sitting at 48, but there are some 47.5 coming on the boards right now. Actual factuals for the Ravens. The total's gone under 4 out of the last 5 games. They are 4-2 straight up in the last 6 games. 6-2 against the spread in the last 8 games against the Saints. 6-2 straight up in the last 8 games against the Saints. The unders hit 13 out of the last 19 games for the Ravens on the road. 14-3 straight up in the last 17 games against an NFC conference opponent. 10-2 straight up in the last 12 games against an NFC South opponent. And on Monday night, they are 2-5 against the spread in the last 7 games. The New Orleans Saints, the total has gone over 4 out of the last 5 games. They are 2-5 straight up in the last 7 games. The overs also hit 4 out of the last 5 games against the Ravens. 3-7 straight up in the last 10 games at the crib. The unders also hit 4 out of the last 5 games against an AFC conference opponent. 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games against an AFC North opponent. 4-1 against spread in the last 5 games in week 9. 1-6 against the spread in the last 7 games on a Monday night. Injury reports right now for the Ravens: Calais Campbell, defensive end, he is questionable with the illness. Josh Bynes, a linebacker, he's questionable for the Ravens. Mark Andrews left last game, so he's questionable with a shoulder injury. Gus Edwards, running back, left last game as well. He's questionable with the hamstring injury. Guard Ben Cleveland's questionable also. So the Ravens are dealing with some nicks here and there. New Orleans, Jarvis Landry, questionable for this game. Michael Thomas, questionable for this game. I had to trade Michael Thomas as. Cornerback Marshawn Lattimore's questionable for this game. And tight end Adam Trotman, he's questionable also. When we seen Baltimore on the 27th last Thursday, they won 27-22 as a money line, and I hit. That was my only play for the NFL last week. And when we saw the Saints, they beat the Raiders 24-0 as a 1-point underdog. So, with all that being said, Marley, do you have a play?
I do. I'm going back to them birds. The Lamar Jackson led Ravens. I'll take them on that good old money line. The Saints are just too inconsistent. Let's just be 100% honest about it. Super inconsistent, 3-5. Better at home, 2-3 at the crib. Defense is, they're one of those teams that's scoring less points, score 24, but giving up 25. It's negative only 1 point, but still negative point differential. Don't take teams to do that. Baltimore, on the other hand, 26, only giving up 22, scoring 26, only giving up 22. And that defense is about to get better. Don't know how much Roquan Smith will play, but his addition, I'm sure he'll probably get some plays in. I'm sure they're working on a couple of different packages to include him in the game. So the defense is getting better. They're coming back from injury. And Lamar Jackson is just, that offense has always been difficult to stop because it's unconventional. So give me the Ravens at the crib on the money line. Coach, you still around? So you hit your camera.
I'm here, dog. Fucking kids, man. Man, fucking kids playing and shit. It's game day. Hey, man, I'm back. I heard everything you said. I'm taking these Ravens, Lamar Jackson, money line on the moolah. That is my play. Everything Marley said. What was your play? What'd you say? Your play was. I was listening, but I was getting on their ass.
I'm on the Ravens on the money line. Saints are just too inconsistent. The Ravens defense is getting better week to week as people are coming back from injury. Some of those guys were young; they're growing up on the back end secondary. Then you add the addition of Roquan Smith from the Bears, the signal calling in the middle.
And, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, bro. Yeah, SEC linebackers.
So
yeah,
I'm on the Ravens, and then like I say, the offense is they're a little banged up with Mark Andrews and Bateman being out, but still at the end of the day, it's Lamar Jackson, it's the scheme, it's the run game, the option. So I just think they'll score enough points. The Saints are just too inconsistent. You don't know who you gonna get week to week.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I'm Ravens money line. I'm riding them. Back to back on the road games against the NFC South division, who is weak this year. So I'm right there with you, LJ, for the moolah. And that's it. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm the coach. That's Marley Bets. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and as you know, YouTube. Open mic, Astros win tonight. Verlander on the mound.
Yes.
I got you.
We smacked that ass up again. They're done. Put a fork in it.
Stick a fork in it.
Done. Wipe yourself off. You're bleeding.
Stick a fork in it, Jax. Well, just a quick recap. My plays. I like the Eagles -14 for Thursday night football tonight. The Vikings first half money line, and 3.5 for the game. I like the Bucks money line and the Ravens money line. Those are my plays. Marley, He likes the Eagles, Texans under 45.5, and he likes the Texans team total under 14.5. Jags money line, the Titans plus 13, and the Ravens money line. Am I missing anything, or that's everyone?
Nope, that is it.
All right, man. Well, man, I don't have anything. I gotta get ready to go. We're about to have early dismissal. Go play our last game of the season. So I want to appreciate everybody tuning in. You can check out these. If you missed it, you can check out the cut-ups. They'll be posted pretty soon. But I'll lead us on a prayer, Marley. Hopefully, we can have a great day. Trying to bust Vegas in the ass and getting this money. Yeah.
We good. May the odds ever be in your favor. That right there, damn it. That right there, that's the coach. I am Marley Bets, and this is Brothas N Bets. And like yesterday, like today, for sure, like tomorrow, y'all already know what it is, man. Let's beat Vegas. We out this month.
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon'